My mother, before she prepared to sell me to the human market, secretly ran back to her maiden home. The night she returned, she was covered in, her belly was a gaping hole, and both her legs were gone. She gave the cauldron on her back to my father, saying, "With this you won't go hungry. Don't sell that not so big cauldron." Inside it was bulging, and a snow-white leg came out. If you threw in cloth, a piece of identical cloth would come out. If it was a chicken would also come out. My father was overjoyed to the point of madness. He didn't notice that my mother's last words to me before she died were, "My mother was originally a madwoman who drifted down from the river." My father fished her out. When he felt for money on her, he found she still had a breath. My mother was beautiful, but her mind was not good. She couldn't remember things, and always wanted to run away. Father wanted to keep her to take care of his 3 motherless children. Just doing some simple washing and cleaning would be fine. But my mother couldn't even take care of herself. It wasn't until the 2nd year after she stayed that she started to come to her senses after giving birth to me. From the midwife's mouth, outsiders learned what kind of mad mother I had. The more they talked, the more exaggerated it became, saying my mother was like a fairy descended from heaven, more beautiful than the paintings on the lanterns. It even reached the ears of Lee Zandian of the River Affairs Department. He used the excuse of collecting fish taxes to come to our door. My father hadn't returned from fishing yet. He called out 5 or 6 times. My mother, still with ropes on her feet, went out with a veil on her face to meet him. In the crowd of wide-eyed onlookers, she tore off the veil she always wore. What celestial being? Her face was covered in scars. A chilling smile, scaring people. That night my father as usual brought back a crucian carp for soup. He listened to his eldest son's words, and praised my mother as a virtuous woman who could keep her integrity. Then he stared at my mother's face and frowned. Although my mother's face was ruined, her mind suddenly became clear. She suddenly knew how to take care of me, and also knew how to take care of children. From that day on, she suddenly stopped running away. She became a complete mother. She was busy with everything in the household. She didn't care about her unhealed face, only thinking about how to make me eat better, and eat more. She begged my father to leave a fish for her from then on. But from that day on, my father no longer tied her up, but he never brought back any fish. Even when my father saw my mother's face, he started to get annoyed. You only needed to scare them a little. Why go to so much trouble with so many cuts? It's really disheartening to look at. These words, after the drought began, would only increase. If you hadn't cut your face, you could have gone to Lee Zandian like Lee wife, and they would have exempted half of the fish tax. Half. You useless thing who only knows how to eat. The river water is getting less day by day. The fish that come are also getting less day by day. The 3 older brothers have grown up. They have to go out and help my father fight for territory. All the food has to be saved for them. I can never eat enough. I feel like I am floating when I walk. The characters my mother taught me to recognize I still remember in the morning. By noon I am so hungry I forget them. The Lee family has a little more. At this time there's still a little porridge to drink. When I stare for a long time, her 6th brother secretly comes out and gives me a spoonful. Just 1 spoonful. Eat it quickly and go back. My mother needs people. Even their family doesn't have porridge to eat anymore. The river water has dried up to the riverbed. At first it was mud. People would rush down to pick up the fish eels and snakes struggling in the mud. My mother just stood by the river. Her face was sad. She covered her mouth. I asked my mother what was wrong. My mother said, "It's time to eat meat again." I don't like meat. My father caught an eel and brought it back. I tightly closed my mouth, refusing to eat. I saw a floating corpse in the river. It was eventually dragged ashore. Its stomach was full of this kind of thing. The 3 older brothers ate heartily. Their clothes were very tattered. Their 3 ribs were like those of a wild dog left outside. Each one was distinct. After eating, they said they were still hungry. But the pot was already empty. There was nothing left. The trees outside had also turned yellow. Even the bark of the elm trees was gone. I wandered to the Lee family's house. Aunt Lee family had 6 children. 5 were still there, but the 6th brother who used to give me porridge wasn't there today. Their whole family had red eyes. They were gathered around the table eating a pot of porridge. I watched from outside for a while. As I was slowly walking back, Lee, who was always mean and stingy, suddenly called me. "Ayu, come here." She saved a spoonful of porridge for me. Everyone at the table looked at me. I was a little scared. "Don't be afraid. Eat it. This. Little Lou asked me to save a bite for you." "Where's my 6th brother? Why isn't he here?" Lee didn't speak. Her expression suddenly made me afraid to ask. The spoon was handed to me. A fragrant spoonful. I opened my mouth wide and caught it. I put it in my mouth. Then I ran home. It was so delicious. That spoonful of porridge. I had never eaten anything so delicious. It was like golden clouds mixed with honey. Fish soup stewed until it was almost shapeless. It felt like if I walked any slower, it would jump out of my mouth and tongue like a rabbit and into my belly. I reached the door. The door was ajar. The house was a mess everywhere. My mother was leaning against the wall. She was hit again. The cut on her face burst open again. I ran to her. She was so thin, so thin. So thin her eyes had sunk in. My mother hasn't eaten anything for a long time. Father and brother ate. She didn't eat the rest, and gave it back to me. I grabbed her hand, and wiped it clean. Mother woke up. I lowered my head, and spat the congee from my mouth into her palm. "This is the congee little 6th left for me." I swallowed hard, and licked my lips. It was delicious. My mother stared at the congee, and suddenly cried. That night, after my father came back, my mother called me and my 3 brothers out, saying she had something to say. We pressed against the door to listen. My mother told us her life story. I am the rich daughter of a neighboring prefecture in Shajiangkou. If you go back with me, we will surely be able to exchange a lot of grain. My father didn't believe it, but my mother straightened her back. Her posture was proper, and completely different from his around. She told the secret of the rich Yu family, all the characters and the generation names of the clan. My father believed it, both surprised and delighted, but he didn't dare to go himself, afraid that the Yu family would be angry and kill him for taking advantage of the situation. Even more afraid that my mother would never return. He insisted on keeping me by his side. My mother said she would return within a month, and told my father not to sell me to the human market. She left with my eldest brother. Months passed. My mother still hadn't returned. The sun outside was even bigger. The riverbed had cracked into pieces. Aunt Lee's other two younger brothers were also gone. Finally one day, Aunt Lee was also gone. There was a smell of meat outside all day long. Everyone said the meat was fragrant, but I smelled it everywhere and it was rotten. Just that night when my father was sharpening his knife at home, my mother actually returned. She was so thin she was deformed, as if she would fall down with a puff of air. She returned alone. Father slammed the door shut. He didn't bother to ask about my eldest brother. Staring at my mother's back, my mother took off her coat. Her whole body was. There was a hole in her stomach. It was pierced from behind. Her feet were made of wood. She walked with it supporting the dripping wound. I had never seen such a strange cauldron. It was clearly bronze, but it was extremely light. Holding this will prevent hunger. Don't sell you. My father thought my mother was joking with him, and was very angry. He grabbed my neck. At this moment my mother suddenly smiled strangely, and reached in to grab. It was bulging inside, and with a pull, a snow-white leg came out. With another pull, another one came out. She stopped pulling. She tore off a piece of clothing again, and threw the rag in. A piece of cloth exactly the same came out. If it were a chicken would come out. But this cauldron, only my family can use it. My father was overjoyed to the point of madness. My second brother threw a piece of steamed bun he had secretly hidden into it. My second brother told me to take it, and throw it in again. A pile really came out. They were overjoyed, and ate a lot. I also quickly grabbed some to feed my mother. She could no longer eat. This is called a ghost cauldron. Once used, it's a curse for life. My father laughed so hard his mouth couldn't close. What ghost? This is a lucky cauldron. Only those with good fortune can use it. I knew it. My wife is very fortunate. My daughter is also very fortunate. They circled the cauldron, and decided to try the Zhang family's heirloom, the Li family's silver hairpin. I noticed my mother's last words to me before she died. My mother was dying that night. My father was not sad. He said, now that this mother is gone, it'll get you a new one. He told me to throw my mother's body in, but the cauldron was too small. It wouldn't fit. My father had to give up, and said he would think of another way. Then he told me to put something else in first. He generously took out the rice he had secretly hidden, put it in. A basin poured out. To prevent the secret from being discovered, they locked me in the backyard. They tried to eat less each day, still appearing thin, but when it was time to eat, only our family had cooking smoke. So, young wives begged my father and my two brothers at the door to pity them. Each time they went out, they only received a small handful of rice. I secretly threw the extra rice out of the backyard with all my might. There were also leftover steamed buns, and hidden meat. The meat rotted, attracting wild dogs. The dogs then attracted people. Soon, more and more people gathered outside our house. It was the spring of the third year. The graveyard behind the village had grown much larger. One night, it rained very heavily. The river water surged again. The countless pieces of cloth I had cut up flowed out through the cracks in the wall. A group of refugees rushed into our house. My two brothers were beaten to death. My father's first action was to grab me in the cauldron and escape over the back wall. My third brother ran fast, and followed, locking the door from the inside. Only my second brother's screams remained inside. I asked my father, what about my second brother? My father said, no older brother. You will have a younger brother in the future. He sat at the bow of the boat, rowed the boat with all his might. We will get rich in the future. There will be a lot of money. There will be endless wealth and honor to enjoy. My sister, you are truly my lucky charm. Third brother climbed onto the boat from the water and said, let me hold sister you. Dad, you focus on rowing the boat. No. Finally, they each took one thing. Dad carried the cauldron on his back. Third brother held me. The boat surged in the river channel. It almost capsized several times, but it still didn't. I don't know how long it took. The river water gradually calmed down. The second time it dawned, we drifted from a tributary to a pier. The crowd was bustling. Not far away a brothel beckoned with red sleeves. A young thin singer waved a handkerchief. My dad got off the boat first, wiped his face. What is this place? Could this be the capital? These prostitutes are even more beautiful than the concubines of the river god. They all look so alike. What kind of family is so blessed, born with such beauty? Triplets. How much money would such a blessed person earn? Heaven is providing for them. Third brother tightly held me in his arms and followed behind my dad. Walked towards the city. They are illiterate. They can't recognize the streets. Everything on the street is from the Yu family. This is Kunzhou, the place where my maternal grandparents live. The place my mother never wanted to return to. My mother rarely talked about the past, except for the time she left Kunzhou. The nearest dark alley, told me in detail where the backyard of my maternal grandparents' house led to the nearest dark alley. Where the well at the alley entrance is. What position in the well leads to the yin he, mentioning the rotten leftovers in the river water and the strong scent of perfume. Every detail was clearly explained. I asked my mother if she was like me, often sneaking out to play. Mom said she only went out once. She would never go back in her life. Nor would she. I said, what if my maternal grandparents look for mom? Mom's expression was complicated as she touched her face. Said not to worry, they won't find her. I didn't understand before. Now I suddenly seem to understand. The ladies in the brothels of Kunjo. The women in the rice shop. The women by the well washing clothes with blank expressions. Although some are old and some are dark. They all look so alike. They all look like my mother. Even if she were placed among them, she wouldn't be distinguishable. Strange. They weren't born to the same parents. How could they look so alike? My dad said a great disaster had just passed. Don't flaunt wealth. We need to find a legitimate business as a cover. He bought a big fish at the pier. Dried fish. Then I took out a pile of dried fish from Fuding. These fish with no cost were sold for money. Copper coins beget copper coins. Then exchange for silver. Then beget gold. However, in a month, there were jars buried under 3 cabinets at home, filled with gold and silver. Then I rented a street-facing shop at a low price. At first I could still walk out of the shop and go to the street. But a few times after my third brother lost track of me and caught me at the city gate. They conspired and locked me in the backyard. I struggled. My father then chained my feet with a chain as thick as his ankle. He said that disobedient women in Kunjo are dealt with this way. Ayu, there are too many bad people outside. Have you heard? There are ghosts in Kunjo who specifically eat women. Look how miserable those women who run around outside are when they are caught. Father is doing this for your own good. Be obedient. If you are obedient, I will let you out. He traveled to other places, transporting boxes of gold and silver back and forth, claiming he earned it himself. Soon he bought new shops, started new businesses, then expanded the courtyard, changed houses, hired guards and cooks. Money emboldens people. Comfort breeds lust. Changed location. Changed into new clothes. My father and third brother's gaunt faces filled out. He started thinking of marrying a woman from a reputable family with good upbringing and education. Like those who studied from the masters at the river and lake department. But women in Kunjo cannot attend school. Only the most noble Yu family has them. He is not afraid of the Yu family anymore. He claims he has a rich destiny. His first wife was a Miss Yu. His second wife cannot be of lower status than the first. My third brother also wants to get married. He wants to marry the younger of the twin courtesans from the Yu family's Fengyue Tower. My father disagreed. He slapped my third brother. They started fighting at home. I secretly told my third brother, father is too hateful. He controls you like this. Aren't you angry? Why don't you take me with you? He'll listen to you, brother. What if he chases after us? Then, just make sure he can't catch up. I then told my father, third brother resents you. Last night I saw him secretly sharpening his knife. Aren't you going to do something? The next day, they both beat me up. These two are impossible to instigate. No matter how much they dislike and guard against each other, their attitude is equally unshakable when it comes to doing evil to me and my mother. I can't escape. I found that my identical fishtails were in the same position on the fish. It's like no one noticed the identical silver coins with fingernail marks. No one noticed the faint marks on the expensive jewelry I conjured. All beings are busy, and the gods turn a deaf ear. The Yu family's business is getting worse and worse. Shops are closing one after another. My father's shops are opening one after another. The jars underground are increasing. The guards outside are also increasing in number. A new larger house was acquired. Third brother dislikes studying, cannot read accounts, solely assigned to watch me. I was confined to the new house deep within his rear quarters in a hidden interlayer. A space just large enough for one person to sleep. My father alone held the cauldron. This way no one could monopolize wealth. Third brother is infatuated with Sister Hua, the younger of the twin courtesans from Hongshou Jiao. Although father forbade marriage, he often secretly brought Sister Hua back to the house. Just one wall apart, I gradually understood what they were doing. I only felt disgusted. Sister Hua repeatedly begged him to let her stay. Even as a concubine, he always casually agreed, saying he would marry her when he saved enough money. Then he made her do those disgusting things for him. Day after day, Sister Hua annoyed, pouted and refused. Do you have another woman? How could that be? In this house there are usually only those dozens of guards outside. Not even an old woman. How could there not be? My lord is rich and handsome. There are truly no women in this house. I don't believe it. If I find out, I will definitely drive away this vixen. You believe it and you don't believe it. I must drive her away. My lord says it's good, so it's good. I believe. Good. I'll do as you say. I felt the opportunity had arrived. The corridor had reinforced interlayers, but they were all adobe. Occasionally the sound of mice. Needed a little bait. Father and third brother never gave me meat, nor did they let me eat my fill. They said they were afraid I would get into trouble if I was full. Think too much if I ate too much. I took the opportunity when I got the fooding. Bit off a piece of my arm and threw it in. The fresh meat poured out and attracted mice. They squeaked and chirped in the corner. Finally, the hole in the adobe wall grew larger. After some time, a small hole broke through the interlayer. But by then third brother had grown tired of Sister Hua and stopped bringing her. In the spring, my father got his wish. After registering with the Yu family, he obtained a beautiful daughter from the Yu family for 30 shops. It is said that the Yu family's business declined, and they were having a hard time. That young lady actively seduced him. My father was extremely proud, haughty and arrogant. A banquet was held in the house. My father had never been so extravagant. He drank a lot of wine. He also invited the best singers and dancers from Hongshou Jiao. Sister Hua also came to liven things up. Third brother drank a lot of wine. They were debauched behind the screen. Third brother became even more smug. Didn't you say before that you couldn't tolerate other women? Why did you just have your own sister send her up to play with me? And then you eagerly followed me over. All the women in your kunjo are the same. Even my family. So the young master really hid another woman? Why not bring her out? Third brother tricked her. Before long his snoring began. I poked a thin hole in the skin. I threw a copper coin out from the crack in the wall. Then a silver coin. Then a gold coin. Wan Yang stepped on gold and silver step by step. And walked towards me. I only saw the thin red clothes fluttering in front of me. I said my third brother was lying to you. He wouldn't marry you. He has a lot of money. Countless money. How could he not have money to redeem you? I threw more gold at her to show her. Wan Yang seemed to be moved. She held a candle, and slowly bent down towards me. I saw the bracelet on her hand. I saw the hairpin on her head. The fine marks on them were all made by me in batches from Fuding. I saw her lifted face. At that moment, I almost cried out. She looks so much like my mother. I stared at her. She also looked at me. It was you, the fish from Hongshou Jiao. On that hairpin, and on the silver coins given by those men. You left them, didn't you? How do you know? We all know. The cook saw your fish. The woman saw your hairpin. We saw your silver. We are all looking for you. You guys. What's your name? You. That's good. You've grown so big. Where's the key to the lock? Is it the one on his plate? She unlocked the chains for me. My ankles were covered in thick calluses. She asked me softly. She asked me again and again. Her voice and posture were like the night my mother left for the last time. It made my heart tremble. Wan Yang asked me to pretend to be her and leave. She wanted to stay here and take my place for a while. To fool the guards outside. Don't worry. Your third brother likes me very much. He'll be angry at most. He won't make things difficult for me. And even if he wanted to make things difficult for me, I am the most popular girl in Hongshou Jiao. Hongshou Jiao won't abandon me. Really, don't worry. She touched my face and looked at me carefully. She put her hood on me and told me the route to leave. It was as if these things had been done hundreds of times. I had 1,000 and 10,000 questions and oddities. Time is tight. Someone will tell you what happened later. Let's go. Leave Kunjo and never come back. She grabbed my hand and looked at me with 1,000 eyes. I put on my hood and went out. This is the first time I've seen the Liang family's appearance in 3 years. Gilded and carved beams and painted buildings. A lotus pond covered with pearls. Night-shining pearls were piled up in the corridor as if they were free. Half of the Liang family was like daytime. Amidst the sounds of silk and bamboo. In the distant water pavilions there were beautiful and bright women dancing. The dance was solemn and ethereal. The outer layers were filled with wealthy merchants with bulging bellies. My father stood on the stage, chasing left and right. He. It was the same poor appearance as before, begging for someone for the price of 2 fish. I turned and left. Just then, a dog followed with its nose sniffing. I walk fast. It's faster. After 2 barks, it was my third brother who came over with a body. Third brother called me sister. He said Wan Yang was a vicious woman. She was specifically deceiving me. She took me out to sell me to Hongshou Jiao. Let me go back with him. I ran away. The dog chased after me. Third brother also chased after me. I was dragged back. Wan Yang, still holding third brother's belt. Third brother punished me. After personally beating me, Wan Yang's face was buried under the ground in the narrow corridor where I was locked up. The soil was damp. The body was soft. Third brother sneered. Said to teach me a lesson. If you run again, this will be the consequence. I remembered what my mother said about her escape. She said she was supposed to be discovered. But the maid who followed her jumped into the well. Her bloated body blocked the well opening. She stayed underwater for 4 days. Living people are more terrifying than people. People are much more lovable and approachable than living people. If one day, mother is gone, you don't have to be afraid. Yes, people are not scary at all. I dug out Wan Yang's head. Then I took off her hairpin. Wan Yang was the top courtesan. Very popular. Many noble guests were her regular patrons. The manager of Hongshou Jiao Yu had indeed come to find Wan Yang. Third brother used money to send her away. Who knows where she went? Maybe she eloped with someone. The manager looked at the body on the ground and said, I am afraid not. Third brother stuffed 2 more gold pieces. Not necessarily. Heartless. Maybe she just ran away. But that sister Wan Yang insisted on seeing her sister. It's hard to appease her. Third brother stuffed 2 more gold pieces. The manager immediately smiled. These women, they just need to be taught a lesson. We Kunjo people never indulge women. These are just 2 playthings. They still think of themselves as living beings with dignity. Dark corner. The wind started blowing again outside. A bird is hopping around. I close my eyes and listen. After getting married, Dad came early in the morning. Dad is happy today. His face was full of smiles. He threw a bag of dowry from the Yu family to me. Then waited for the rare treasures to turn from the Fuding into a box and a case. He said with great joy, this life is truly happy. Having you is truly my father's blessing. I held the hairpin in my hand, squeezing it again and again. Staring at his neck, slowly wiped off the plaster on it. Dad left. Third brother as usual asked me to give him the 2 extra cauldrons of jewelry. He also said that he helped me cover up my escape. Third brother, do you remember when I was 3 years old? At that time Li Shaolia's father made him a wooden sword. He was playing and smashing everywhere. He hit me on the head. I cried and went home. It was you, third brother, who went to find Li Shaoliu and beat him up. Dad came back and beat you up again. Oh, I don't remember. At that time you were injured and had a fever. The doctor wanted 1 qian of silver to make a house call. Dad didn't pay. It was Mom who pawned her earrings and asked me to invite the doctor. I also fell down at that time. What exactly do you want to say? Third brother. In that bag Dad just gave me. There's a name Locking Lock. My mother said that Fu Ding can only be used by members of the Yu family. Why did Dad insist on marrying a Yu family woman at the risk of exposure? Is he trying to test? The second day after getting married, he came. I am afraid this Yu family woman can't. But if Dad has a child with the Yu family, like me, will it work? Third brother slowly stood up. Dad said it's fine to have a son. Eldest brother is gone. Second brother is also gone. Now only third brother is left. But Dad can still have children. What will we do then, third brother? Third brother turned his head and stared outside. Frowning, a thin killing intent suddenly appeared in his dark eyes. It seems that sowing discord is not that difficult. Third brother is an idiot. His solution is to seduce the Yu family woman. He was flattered by the girls from Hongshou Jiao. He was arrogant. He thought he was younger than his father. It would be easy to seduce a woman. He wants Dad's cauldron, so he started with his woman first. The new bride actually took the bait. She came frequently. She couldn't use the main entrance. Third brother took her through the side passage. She reached out and pressed on the corridor and asked, "I've never seen this place before. It's not on the house plan either. What's inside?" Third brother said from outside. "If you follow me, what place want I show you?" Annoying. Third brother wants the new bride to have a child for him. He has the same idea as my father. Once a woman has a child, can be easily controlled. The new bride giggled. "Your father misses his child too. You have many other Yu family women outside. All were gathered by any means necessary, and said whoever gives birth will get 1,000 gold taels. Kept me locked in the back house day after day. He however is living it up." Third brother was so angry he smashed the wall, turned and bit the new bride's neck fiercely. "This old man, truly deep-minded, you can tolerate this too. You really are." The new bride laughed even harder, pushed third brother away who wanted to get closer. The Yu family's ancestral home origin. So many years earlier, what is there to not tolerate? As long as you grant me one request, I will naturally obey you. I know you have a woman hidden in your mansion. You must kick her out. Then I will obey you. Your father said that's a little plaything you're keeping. To relieve boredom. I don't care. With her, without me. My father said so. After the new bride left, third brother was even angrier. Angry that father would even reveal such a secret, and not tell himself. Doesn't consider himself a son at all. The fourth day, father brought another beautiful pearl. This was a gift from the Yu family in-laws, said to be bestowed by the imperial court, each worth 100 gold taels. A treasure like an eyeball. I finally managed to borrow it. You went to the Yu family again. I am going to use it to pave the pond. Third brother looked at the auspicious cauldron in his father's hand. You all say, if the Yu family knew their treasure was in my hands, and their precious daughter married me, would they be angry? Ha ha ha. The Yu family is said to have connections with the imperial court. Will they snatch it back when they find out? What connection? I've heard it all. The Yu family's great-grandfather was a commoner. It was pure luck that they got that treasure and suddenly rose to prominence. What connection does he have? Commoners cannot hold office. My Liang family is different. We are law-abiding citizens. In a few years, we will donate some officials. Hee. In a few years, donating officials. But third brother is illiterate. In a few years who will this official position be for? It goes without saying. Third brother no longer hesitated. Directly smashed the incense cauldron at his father. With a bang, he fell to the ground convulsing but still able to move. His eyes full of shock. Third brother hesitated for a moment. I pounced, and stabbed him in the neck. Heat surged. Father wanted to shout. I stared at him. This hairpin is for my mother. For why that Li Zandian suddenly came to the door back then I don't know. And you were late to return that day? Dad's eyes widened. My mother was never crazy. She ran away and you caught her with a fishing net, didn't you? He bubbled and gurgled. I saw third brother walking over with the incense burner. Everyone's wealth and fortune in life is predetermined. My mother said, this is the dead cauldron. But you don't believe it. It's in your own son's hands this time, isn't it? I pulled out the hairpin with a yank. Heat gushed out, and at the same time, third brother's incense burner smashed down. The entire backyard fell silent. Third brother reacted. He lunged forward to grab the cauldron. The cauldron seemed a little smaller, but it didn't matter. He hugged it tightly. This is mine now. It's all mine. You family daughter. This, and this. It's all mine. I tightened my grip on the hairpin. My hands lost strength. I ate too little. I used all my strength. Third brother buried Dad at the other end of the alley. When he was about to lock me in, I begged him saying I was scared. Third brother thought for a while. I need to leave myself a backup plan. What if the Yu family's daughter's child is useless? What if you die? The smell in the alley was too strong. He fanned his nose. It'll take you out first. And wash you properly. Third brother's courtyard had a ready-made pool. Ice cold water. Slippery mud. I slumped into the water. It'll give you a chance at wealth. As long as you marry me. Be mine. I will naturally give you the respect you deserve. By the way, when you give birth, the child is so small. It can be put into the cauldron. He told me to wash well. If it doesn't come off, use a stone shard to scrape it. Your mother was very beautiful. I don't think you're any less. I hope you don't disgust me too much. That was your mother too. I am your sister. I shivered from the cold. Third brother suddenly burst into laughter. Do you really think you're my father's child? Your mother was already pregnant when she arrived. I think the reason she left the Yu family and didn't dare to go back is probably because she was messing around and feared being caught and drowned in a pig cage. He squatted down, looking at my face, gradually revealing its true form. His eyes gradually changed. Women from Kunzhou are indeed different. When I was young, I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. That Hua Niang resembles her by 9 parts. I didn't expect. You are more beautiful than your mother whose face was disfigured. He reached out to me. Third brother. Call me Sanlang. Call me Sanlang. In the water I was no match for him. He grabbed one of my hands. I suddenly opened my mouth. I turned my head and bit his neck. Harder, harder. Third brother struggled in pain. He punched me in the head one after another. He pushed me underwater and I almost drowned. Later he struggled free. He threw me on the ground. I staggered to my feet. You think it'll be that easy? It'll sever your Achilles tendons. And pull out your teeth. I was dragged out by the arriving Yu Shi. She looked so much like Hua Niang. The first time she saw me, a gentle smile appeared in her eyes. Third brother was furious and said, this is my sister. So it's your sister. Look at me getting jealous over the wrong person. Her eyes were charming and pretty. And she looked familiar. She looked at my face, turning it this way and that. She looked at third brother with concern. Let me bandage you first. Third brother sat down. The new bride gently and softly bandaged him. She wrapped it around a few times. We're all family. It's normal to bicker. Sanlang, don't be angry with your sister. She saw what was on the ground, and also learned about father's situation. Third brother watched her warily from behind, a short knife in his hand. So this place is used for this. It really is a good choice of location. You can't tell anything from the outside. Third brother stared at Yu Shi. Seeing her genuine joy, he slowly relaxed. Yu Shi said, this is a good day. We must celebrate. She personally cooked 2 small dishes. Let's have a good meal together as a family. She smiled and left. I was locked back into the narrow passage. I don't know how long passed. The secret door of the narrow passage opened again. Quick, help me. She unlocked the shackles on my ankles. I saw third brother outside asleep and bound tightly. She locked the chains onto third brother's feet. Is this how you lock it? The chain was too small, tightly gripping third brother's ankle. Third brother woke up, but couldn't speak. His tongue was tied with a rope, fastened from behind to the back of his head. His eyes pleaded as he looked at me and Yu Shi. Yu Shi said, these 2 hands have touched you. Chop them off. Hack them off. Oh dear, I forgot that women in Kunjo don't have knives. And we can't use knives. Then let's smash them with stones. Third brother trembled all over in pain. After it was done, Yu Shi prepared to finish off third brother. I stopped her. Hope appeared in third brother's eyes. My mother said that if a person hasn't brushed their teeth for a long time they can bite people. They can bite people. I want to see. What if there's nothing, then we starve first? He want. Hell, find food. Isn't his father still here? The secret door of the passage closed. I threw the key into the pond. There were also side dishes sent by Yu on the table. So hungry. She opened the bottom of the food box. Try this. I made it myself. That's a dish my mother made most often. Braised crucian carp with tofu. Snowy soup, clean and clear, sprinkled with scallions, emerald green and lovely. My hand trembled slightly. Who is it after all? You guys. Who is it after all? Why do you look so much like my mother? Do you know what this place is called? Kun. It has another meaning. Tong Kun originally meant woman, but Kunjo doesn't seem to have many women. Kunjo has no women, but many years ago, Kunjo was a refuge for women. Everything starts with Princess Dianan. Princess Kunan, the one who was executed by slow slicing. Yes, eyes were sad. She smiled gently, and began to tell the story. She told me a story. Kunjo is also called Kunjo. Originally had many women. It was the fiefdom of Princess Kunan, the youngest daughter of the former emperor. Under the princess rule, she appointed wise and virtuous officials, and encouraged women to start businesses. It was a prosperous region. When the great chaos occurred, the ruler repeatedly received joint pleas for help from the people of the fiefdom. After much deliberation, he still decided to send troops. But everything changed too quickly. When Kunjo was besieged, the women of Kunjo, to protect their homes, led the women in the city to shave their heads and change their clothes. Fought several battles at night, implemented a scorched earth policy, and refused to open the gates. But after running out of ammunition and food, these female comrades in arms became their food for defending the city. Princess Kunan changed her attitude from advocating war. She would rather surrender. She firmly disagreed with this action. She even prepared to negotiate with the rebels. The struggles within the noble families should not implicate innocent people, and should not use the flesh of the people as military rations. The next day, the defending soldiers informed the princess that reinforcements had arrived and secretly sent grain to be distributed in the training ground. No need to wear armor. As a result, when they arrived, these female soldiers who had wielded swords for battle were beheaded on the spot and turned into a pot of fragrant soup. Who told them they wanted to surrender? Women are indeed unreliable. If the city falls, these women they can live and remarry, but we all have to. All soldiers reached a consensus. They kept all the remaining women and children penned up. They first ate those whose husbands were away or had no one at home. The old ones, the ugly ones, then the young ones, those with sisters. Later on, it was the families of the officials and soldiers. They said defending the city was a matter of integrity. Everything was a sacrifice worth making. I listened and felt a chill run down my spine. And then, Princess Kunan had nowhere to turn. She pleaded with the defenders for a long time, only to be given the chance to bury her own bones. As she buried her bones in the mountain of corpses and sea of bodies, she discovered a flesh Ganoderma from the dark underground, dark green to black, eating piece after piece. The princess spent a night, digging out the bronze like Taishi, and discovered the secret of bronze. She thought she had found a way to save people, but she didn't expect this to be the beginning of the nightmare. At this moment, there was no usable grain left in Kunjo. The soldiers didn't want to eat bark anymore. They wanted to eat meat. And they didn't want to eat men's meat. They said men's meat smelled bad. But the women of Kunjo were almost all gone. Only the princess remained. The princess was pregnant at this time. The imperial court was still there. They dared not touch the princess. Even if the princess was pregnant, she had to be kept whole. Let alone, that cauldron seemed to be usable only by the princess. So they set their sights on the child in her belly. They said, anyway, no one knew whose child it was. It would be a disaster to keep it. The bronze cauldron was not big enough. But it was definitely enough to hold an unborn child. As long as it was put in, there would be an endless supply of food. I could barely listen any longer. I used almost all my strength to stop myself from screaming. What happened later? The woman's hand gently stroked mine. The princess refused to harm the child. She said she had another idea. She cut off a piece of her thigh and threw it in. Then she took it out piece by piece. The soldiers she had protected ate in front of her. They kept discussing. Because the current defense, the titles bestowed by the distant court became higher and higher. Everyone would be rewarded. Their deeds would be sung. Recorded in history. They were excited. She trembled all over. Only thinking, as long as they persisted, until the rebellion was successfully quelled, the women of this city would not have died in vain. My heart clenched, turned into a ball, but the persistence of Kunjo was meaningless. The power struggle among the nobles ended with the success of the rebels. The rebels were defeated and the imperial court became the legitimate ruler. All the titles bestowed by the distant court became empty. The persistence of the entire Kunjo became a ridiculous joke. All the women who went there had no chance of getting justice back. Knowing this news, that person, the city was silent. Don't know who started it. Suddenly let out a strange wild laugh. People who ate a lot of meat started to tremble one after another. Laughed wildly. Not long after, their bodies festered in. This is the price of cannibalism. In the end, only the Yu family remained in the city. Because the Yu family was originally from, they were responsible for the night soil in the city. Ate the least. Instead it saved them. What about the princess? At that time the princess had no good meat left on her limbs. After she knew this news, only left a diary, then jumped into the meat cauldron thrown into the fire. At the time of death, she was so thin she was almost just bones. Her baby was several months old. There were still several months before birth. But there was no time for her. She only said, in this life, the only apology is to the child in her belly who was not born. Her mother lost her life to give birth to her. Her child could not be born because of her. This is my mother's only bone. What my mother passed on to me with her life will be in my hands. Ended. If it weren't for her insistence on rescuing the city, this child could have been born safely in the city. Perhaps as a fallen ordinary citizen of the previous dynasty. Grew up well, if there was a chance. She really wanted this child to be born. The Yu family dragged the cauldron out of the fire. The princess fell out of the cauldron. First, second, third. The city was still breached. No, it was opened. The Yu family sent one of the princesses out. Sought forgiveness. The remnants of the previous dynasty were executed by slow slicing. And the other princesses who came out were imprisoned underground by him. The clan used the princess and the wealth of the entire city to seek only one grace. Granted Kunjo to him to reside in. All officials were to be members of the Yu clan. But after that, the entire Kunjo except for the local women could not keep any women from other places. Mild cases would get sick. Severe cases would die. No girl was ever born. Kunjo had no women, so it was renamed Kunjo. Kunjo, a barren land. Infertility Kun. I widened my eyes, looking at the Yu family in front of me. Her original name, Nishu. So, you are. Nishu nodded slowly. We are trapped in Kunjo. Like earthbound spirits. There were a total of 10 women who came out in that batch. One of them was pregnant like Princess Kunan. The others, although they had the same face, had no memory and were not pregnant. The women who came out of the cauldron had no memory. But we have the same face. And only those who are pregnant can activate this cauldron. The cauldron is made from Tai Sui meat gathered from beneath Mount Hu mountain. The only ones who can drive it are true princesses. But the child in the princess belly never lived to see the day of birth. No matter what method was used, what medicine was taken, every time, at 6 months pregnant, they would go. Not long after, the princess would also go. And these other puppet-like women with the same appearance lived a little longer. Each would also disappear without a trace at 6.5 months. It's like an obsession and a curse. The Yu family became rich by relying on this cauldron. Re-established their businesses. Acquired servants. These servants were all assigned equally beautiful concubines, maids and wives. The poor in Kun province would also have them. As long as they registered at the Yu family ancestral shrine, they would soon receive a beautiful fairy-like woman. They had the same appearance. Different temperaments. Some might be young. Some might be older. Although they didn't live long, it was enough to bear children. This is an open secret throughout Dayan province. They quickly became defenders of the rules. Easy to enter, but no woman or girl could leave Kun province alive. It's the reason why I couldn't successfully leave the city a few times after I arrived despite shaking off my third brother. Nishu said, the last time, everyone tried every method, used everything they learned from those men. With tears in their lives they repeatedly searched for a path out of desperation. And then found that passage. And sent my mother out. I didn't expect, this time, it allowed me to be born successfully. Mother Nai's hands were extremely gentle. So beautiful. This face, we always wondered what you would be like. Would you be a girl or a boy? It's so good that you might be mischievous. As soon as your things appeared, we knew you were here. But we haven't seen any newcomers in the city. Neither in the inner quarters nor in the tavern. We searched for a long time. So good. Tears welled up in her eyes. She reached out to hug me. Only then did I realize. Her face seemed to have aged. I suddenly remembered, when I was a little over 5 years old, my mother went back for me. These people were probably brought out of the cauldron at that time. But now that I've come to Kun province. How long has it been? It's already been more than 6.5 months. Mother Ni should have left long ago. My heart trembled. Mother Ni raised the scissors and cut my long hair short, tied it up in a masculine style. She reached out and touched my face. I wanted to style your hair nicely again, but it seems I can't anymore. Her eyes were emitting. The self above is increasing. The thing my mother gave me with her life. Finally with me, it has begun again. My daughter, my Ayu, my child, my flesh. Ayu, let's go. Follow the path I told you. Go forward, don't look back. I trembled and threw myself into her arms. Mother, go forward, don't look back. When I went out and entered the alley, I heard the muffled struggle of my third brother inside. Then came the sound of small fires. Then came the exclamations of those guards. I never appeared in Dianzhou. Never showed up at the Liang family. No one knows I exist. I walked out, like an ordinary servant boy. The fire started, getting louder and louder. I walked into the alley, along the corner path my mother told me about. Walking out step by step, more fires started. As I walked past, the women in every dark corner raised their heads. The women no longer moaned. The women who were sewing narrowed their eyes. Their poor thin faces looked at me, but every face showed a gentle smile, as if to say, so this is what my daughter is like. Fine lines began to appear. Faint fine lines spread. Their lives have come to an end, as if obsession has found redemption. Rotten leftovers in the river. The scent of makeup from the canal outside Hongxiujiao. So familiar. They are watching me, just like my mother looked at me on her last night. They all said, Ayu, run quickly. The woman by the window overturned the candlestick. The woman in the kitchen lit the fire starter. Flames began to spread piece by piece. I seemed to hear what my mother said to me that night. Don't be afraid. Mother is always here. I saw the hands that fell on those mothers. Saw the raised clubs. Saw the whips and chains. I widened my eyes to see clearly. I remembered it all in my heart. When I jumped into the well, I looked back one last time. The sky was full of firelight. The fire that Dianzhou was 10 years late for. Rekindled. These years, we have given them many children. But those children, each will be shorter lived than the last. The current sons of the Yu family cannot even live past 30. But it's not enough. Not enough. To let them die so short-lived. Only the Yu family is not enough. The entire Dianzhou, all Yus. Only mother's obsession. And so many of them. I held the cauldron soaked with countless tears in my hands. Held my breath. The water of the Yin River surged, pushing me up and down further away. I closed my eyes. The cauldron became smaller, pressed tightly against my abdomen. A wave passed. My eyes gradually brightened. I was rescued by a boat and stayed in Yangzhou during the March of Fireworks. I leaned against the treasure cauldron. Already the shopkeeper behind the leading shipbuilding magnate. In Tongzhou, Heijin, Kangzhou, Lanling, I followed along the Yangzhou route and waited for a full 3 months. When the new emperor came to Yangzhou, someone fell into the water on the boat causing chaos. I swam over without hesitation, pulled up the nearest woman, grabbed her hair and swam back, and saved her. Her palace attire was disheveled. It was none other than the current empress. The empress was carrying the imperial heir, and was very grateful to me. She asked me what reward I wanted. Do you want to be a princess? Or do you want the management rights of the Jinggang Chamber of Commerce? I begged the empress to grant me the right to govern a city. The empress was slightly stunned when she heard the name Dianzhou. Is that all you want? But I heard, Kunzhou has been plagued by bandits since the last great fire and chaos. And it is also said to be unlucky for women. And it has also been granted to the Yu family. I am afraid, Your Highness. This humble woman is not afraid of bad luck. Righteousness will triumph over evil. This humble woman wants to go to Kunzhou. That is where my mother's clan is from. It should not be left to those defiled people to trample on. Please. I looked up at her face, which was somewhat similar to my mother's. This descendant of a noble lady from the previous dynasty had complex feelings for Kunzhou. The current dynasty's swords are meant to cut down the officials of the previous dynasty. She looked at my face and was silent for a moment. All right, as you wish. The day the decree was issued, I went to express my gratitude. The empress suddenly turned her head and called someone in. Li Cheng, you will escort shopkeeper Ni. Hearing this name, my heart stirred slightly, seeing a young man with a somewhat familiar and resolute face walk in. This Li Xiaoliu was saved by my mother on her way to the capital. He has followed me for so many years, and is very reliable. You should act. You can command him as you please. I kowtowed again to express my gratitude. The empress said softly at the end, I heard that Princess Dianan of the previous dynasty is buried in Dianzhou. If it weren't for her charity back then, my grandmother would have starved to death. If you find her tomb, please pay respects to her on my behalf. I gently cowed again. The empress touched her hair. The daughters of Kun province are full of strange tales. When my mother was young, she heard many stories about the women of Kun province. You are going there. Do not let this effort of yours be in vain. When I arrived in Kun province, the city was still bustling with activity, but I could hardly see any women. There were only 2 or 3 newly bought maids. Coughing, I rode my horse with Li Cheng, and as we entered openly, all eyes fell on me. Their expressions were strange. I, wearing a cloak, urged my horse forward. At the very front was the youngest head of the Yu clan of Dian province. The Yu clan is all here. The middle-aged man was about to speak. When he looked up and saw me, his expression changed. Yu Sanshin, they don't give names to those women. They only assign numbers. I looked at the men present. There seemed to be less than 3,000. Li Cheng urged his horse forward, and the whip struck his face. How dare you be so rude to an official? This is the Kun province decree personally issued by the Empress. The Yu clan knelt down in a panic, but there were others who were not convinced, and looked at me coldly. I don't have any trouble. I raise my hand and shoot an arrow. The arm crossbow in my hand is really useful. *PFF*** one person fell. Sir, what is this? A life for a life. Is that not right? I received a report that there are many murderers in this city. I am here today to execute these evils. Which house in Dian province does not have one of these people? As soon as these words were spoken, there was silence below. I casually pointed to another. And you too. When I killed the sixth person, the people below could no longer hold back. With red eyes they were about to make a move. This person must have escaped. What official? Most likely a fraud. Catch her. It's good that there are no new goods right now. Catch her. Let her live. What? Are you rebelling? So what if we rebel? An arrow was shot. Stimulated by this, the people below suddenly rioted. Let her shoot. How many crossbow bolts can she have? She must be running out soon. Catch her. Lock her up. I think she must be the one who caused that big fire. These people, they haven't been quiet for decades. The **** of the bows and crossbows continued incessantly. The cold arrows did not stop. As these people rushed towards me, they fell in a circle around me. This Fuding fruit is really useful. The arrows inside are endless. Killed the first wave. Here comes the second wave. But this time I don't need to act. Li Cheng's signal flare flew out. With a bang, the soldiers outside rushed in neat formation. How dare you rebel? Take them all down. The people inside immediately turned pale. Scared they fell to the ground. Never dare to move again. Forcibly abducting women is at most a fine and hard labor. But rebellion is punishable by extermination of the 9 generations. Go to the Yu family to find the roster. Those who registered to marry in their family that year were all adopted sons and relatives of the Yu family. Not a single one can be let go. The head of the Yu family kowtowed desperately. Spare my life. We can pay money. A lot of money. His head was broken and bleeding. Looking extremely disheveled, I sneered at him. A horse's hoof stepped on his face. Drove straight in. Everyone was arrested. The cells were not enough to hold them. Trial on the spot. The great crime of rebellion. Extermination of the 9 generations. Sign and fingerprint. That night, I returned to the Liang family. The house was dilapidated. The outside was pried open. Beggars had lived inside. I walked to the corner passage. Let the people on the left and right. Slowly, the wall broke, revealing a strange smell inside. Nauseating. I saw my third brother. He was no longer human. He was still breathing. He saw me. His eyes lit up. Give him some ginseng soup. The 1,000-year-old one I brought. Don't let him. Sister, save me. The passage below was already empty. All the bones had bite marks on them. It was my father's. Not so clean. When I was young my father always said my third brother was stupid. Not good at studying. Couldn't even gnaw bones clean. This is quite clean. Captain Li, killing father and relatives. What crime is that? Lingxi punishment. All life drained from third brother's face. No, I didn't spare his life, sir. He turned to look at Li Cheng, as if grasping at a life-saving straw. You, are you that little sixth son of the Li family? It's you. Help me. This woman is crazy. Help me. He told me about my wickedness and my evil deeds. Said I didn't lock him up for years. And now I want his life. Li Cheng called out to the person dragging third brother away. Third brother, terrified, regained hope. Shut up and look at us. Disrespectful to Shangguan. First whip 20 times. Remember to feed some ginseng soup. No more. All emotions surged into my heart. I turned and walked quickly backward. Li Cheng followed closely. No wonder you are highly regarded by the Empress. You are indeed very capable. Li Cheng was silent for a moment. He handed me a handkerchief. I didn't look back. Screams echoed through the city. Like a silent sacrifice. I felt the